Hey guys, welcome to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So today we're back with a Caitlyn supplementary guide, but honestly this could be the best build for Caitlyn in some circumstances, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that when we get to the gameplay itself. And this gameplay kind of highlights, how in certain circumstances this Caitlyn build could be better than the energized build, which I personally feel the energized build is better in more scenarios than the unhit build. But yeah, furthermore, the unhit build, we just got a nerf on Terminus in patch 5.3a, so there is also that. But anyways, let's get going. So first up, we're going to start with the Gluttonous Greaves, to no one's surprise, for the AD and the Omnivamp. We have Terminus first item. You did lose 5 AD on Terminus, but it's still a really solid first item. You deal magic damage on hit, you get a decent amount of attack speed and attack damage. We also have the stacking resistances and the stacking penetration. Overall, just a really solid first item. So next up, we have Bork. So Bork, of course, gives you the current health damage on hit. Again, more AD, more attack speed, physical vamp as well, and the drain passive really helpful. And then we go into Runans, which of course with the Runans, I'm gonna suppose it's a feature now, because if it's a bug, it's been in the game for way too many patches. But as long as you can attack one main target, your Runans range can extend past that main target, and with Caitlyn's very long range already, is going to allow you to attack people who are very far away. And then at this point, I think you have enough kind of attack speed, so I like to actually spec into more attack damage focused items. So in this case, I have the Bloodthirster for the AD physical vamp, just the giant stat stick basically, and the Maw, which also gives you a really good amount of AD, magic resist, and things like that. But I know some people like to go full on hit, and by that I mean they like to go, for example, Wit's End, and they like to go for Nash's Tooth. Now I really don't think you want to go really full on hit like this kind of situation. Like, I know some people like to build this. I really don't think that's really the best idea to go full on hit. I think getting some attack damage at the very end is probably going to be more beneficial. Now, if you don't need Maw, you could go for some other defensive item like Shield Bow, for example, could work out really well. For the runes, of course, lethal tempo, extra range, and more on hit, more attack speed to proc more on hit damage. Brutal, of course, because you auto attack a lot. Generally, Giant Slayer is going to be better because generally there are tanks on the enemy team. But if you're into full squishy, then of course coup de grace. Here we have Alacrity for attack speed, but honestly you have a lot of attack speed, so you could go for you could go for Bloodline if you want to. But again, you also have a decent amount of healing in the build, so really up to you on that one. I like to go for Bone Plating here for the defensive capabilities, and of course we go for our usual Ghost and Flash for our summoner spells. But with that said, now let's hop into the gameplay itself. Alright, so now let's jump into the gameplay itself. Of course, the first thing we want to really discuss here is, when is the unhit build better, and when is the, energized build, being with the Storm Razor and the Magnetic Blaster better. Well, if you don't know which one to build, I would suggest just going for the energized build, just straight up, because it's more better in more scenarios. So when is the unhit build better? Well, basically, there's kind of two scenarios that the unhit build is better. Now, scenario number one is the enemy team is very tanky. So, for example, in this match, we have a Nautilus and we have a Darius, which is not very tanky, but it's decently tanky. So, the unhit build is good here because obviously you have Bork, you have Terminus early, so it's really easy to get shred through the tanks. But the situation number two, which is what people realize a lot less, is when you're able to really free hit onto the enemy team. The unhit build is going to allow you to get in a lot more attacks. It's going to allow you to overall deal a lot more damage because of all of the unhit effects that you're proccing. So when is this kind of scenario happening? So let me give you an example here. So here we're against a Kalista and a Nautilus. Now Kalista's range is pretty short, so Caitlyn can take advantage of her long range and get a lot of free auto attacks on her. Against an engaged tank like Nautilus here, he basically can only engage, right? So here you can see he's walking up, and look at how many free hits I'm getting. I have 4 hits, 5 hits, I have a full stack with the tempo here. I'm basically just killing him right there. Kane comes in. I'm not going to hit Kalista to get the kill onto her. I flash forward, get the kill on her. Kane is now still chasing me. I'm trying to kite him out. Karma Shield is coming back up real soon. She shields me, and I'm going to hop forward, get the triple kill onto the Kane. So this is kind of the exact scenario I'm talking about, right? When you're against an engaged tank like Leona, like Nautilus, like Alistar, these kind of champions, or any kind of frontline champions, Darius, Garen, Urgot, champions like these, Generally, it's very easy to just free hit onto them a lot at the start of a team fight because they're gonna want to come close to it towards your team to actually do something, but you're gonna be far behind just auto attacking them. You can free stack your lethal tempo, you can free hit onto them and just stack up your terminus and everything and proc all of your on-hit effects. So these are the scenarios where the on-hit build actually eclipses the energized build. And this is like this match is kind of a mix of both, where there's some tanky champions and there's also a lot of champions that's very easy to free hit. Now, of course, Kayn and Yone are not champions you can free hit, but obviously you're not going to have really that kind of dream scenario where all champions are champions you can just free hit. I mean, otherwise it doesn't matter what build you go for, right? Because if you can just free hit anyway, you're just going to win whatever build you go for, unless you're building like AP or tank or something. But basically, this is kind of where I personally like to build the on-hit build. Another scenario where the on-hit build is going to be better than the crit build / energized build is if you have a Milio. Because if you have a Milio plus full stack lethal tempo plus Runan's Hurricane is basically just going to win you the game, right? Of course, you could argue you could go for Runan's Hurricane with the energized build as well, but there's not really too much of a point with that because Runan's Hurricane just works so much better with on hit that if you ever play with a melee, you pretty much should just go on hit all the time. Here, Karma gets a pretty good engage, and here I'm just blasting Nautilus in his back. Like, just look at that. Boom, boom, boom. We got a full stack lethal tempo. We ult. Nautilus survives on 1 HP, unfortunately. And yeah, so if you have a Milio, you have the bonus range. The bonus range of Milio plus the bonus range of lethal tempo plus Caitlyn's actual base attack range being so long is straight up just going to allow you to free hit, just like that. So here Kayn hops straight into the trap, we combo him down, and he takes like half of his HP. And at this point, we are still in the early game, although we are 3-0, so we are really, really fed. But yeah. So enough talking about what build to go for. I think I've caught you guys up on that. Now let's focus onto the gameplay. Now we have a very strong like poke lane because we have Karma and we have Caitlyn, both of which can deal a lot of damage. Just look at this, I'm comboing the Nautilus, and Nautilus is basically just dead right here. I'm not sure why he just walked up that way. I think he thought he was like tanky enough, especially because he had Aftershock. But yeah, this is what Caitlyn can really do. She can really bully people. And she can really like make your life really, really miserable in lane if you give her a lead or if you're into a bad matchup. And this I would consider a pretty bad matchup because they have an all-in lane with Kalista Nautilus. So if Nautilus gets an engaged, Kalista runs you down and you probably just die. But they're into a poke lane, which is Karma with her Q and Caitlyn just with her auto attacks. And it's very hard to play an all-in lane versus a poke lane because the poke lane is just going to poke you down. They're going to be low HP. And you're basically going to find it very, very difficult to ever get any kind of good engage because you're always going to be like half HP or lower. So here, this is like the best chance they have to engage because everybody is full HP. Nautilus misses the engage though, but as time goes by, like you can see that my job here is to basically poke them down. So you can see I'm playing pretty aggressively. I'm just trying to get free autos in whenever I can. I'm posturing pretty aggressively, but at the same time I don't want to get hooked by Nautilus, so I'm being a little bit careful here. You can see Kalista at this point is less than half HP, so if Nautilus gets an engage, Kalista is not really going to be at like full power because, she's like at half health at this point. So I'm still landing all of these combos. Just look at it, they're now just both 1 HP. Right, so we ult Kalista this time blocks for Nautilus, and Kalista and Nautilus are both 1 HP. We are starting to get pissed off, so we're going to run them down. Gonna try to chase after them. We try to flash forward for the kill, but unfortunately we don't quite get it, and we instead take a couple of tower shots for our efforts. And we did blow both our flash and exhaust because I thought I could get at least 1 kill, if not 2, but unfortunately we got absolutely nothing. So that's a little bit unfortunate. You could say that is a misplay. We didn't necessarily have to play that aggressive. Here Kayn comes in, and I'm not sure what he's doing. Yeah, it's quite clear that Kayn cannot kill us because as long as Karma is here to give us the shield, Kayn does not have enough burst damage to kill us. Now the enemy team's back in lane, and we really want to reset because obviously we have yet to actually reset, and we can do so. And here you can see this is a gameplay from the previous patch because obviously we still have to pick up the mimics. Here the dragon is up, so we're actually gonna take the fruit and then rotate over to help out with the dragon. And then we really want to reset here yet again. And then now the issue here is that now we have to defend the tower, because if we reset right here, we're going to give a lot of free tower plates over, and we don't want that to happen. So Nautilus engages onto the Karma. Unfortunately, Kalista is already really too low, and Kalista just gets run down. We're slowly auto-attacking on Nautilus, but we know we're not going to be able to kill him, but we're just going to attack him as much as we can, proc the mimics as well. And since the tower is already so low, we're just gonna go ahead and try to grab this tower. Nautilus obviously cannot defend it, he's too low for that, and if Kayn shows up, you know, we should be fine. Anyway, Karma is probably gonna be the target and she can shield herself. So here we get the first tower of the game, and we can actually reset, and we can actually get a completed terminus right here, and then we can even build like halfway to Blade of the Rune King because we haven't reset in so long. But honestly, already at this point, you can kind of see why the on-hit build could be really good. Just look at how much free auto attacks we're getting. Now we could get those free auto attacks with the energized build as well, but as I said, with the on-hit build, if you can DPS over a long duration, you're gonna do more damage than the crit build. And yeah, so here just farming the minions, and here we're trying to see if we want to either try to get a fight here with the enemy bot lane, which is exactly what we're trying to do. Nautilus realizes he can escape, so he turns to engage instead, which is a good move by him. Kalista goes all in, exhausts me, but unfortunately she just doesn't have enough damage at this point in time. Nautilus exhausts me as well. And here Yone actually comes in. I'm thinking that I'm gonna die here. I try to flash away, kiting the Yone, huge shield coming from Karma, and I pick up the fruit, and then we are gonna ult the Yone down and kill him, and we pick up another triple kill. And the game is honestly almost kind of over at this point. Like, I'm 7-0. We have 0-3 bot lane. We have 0-2, 0-3 bot lane on the enemy team. 0-2 mid jungle on the enemy team. And the only person with any kills on the enemy team is actually the Darius, who's 3-2. But I'm not too scared of the Darius. I mean, yes, Darius does have Ghost and Proto Belt, so there is a world where I can get caught up by him and just die. But I think that's pretty unlikely. Just look at that damage onto Kalista. Kalista gets sent into next week just in half a second. Darius is getting caught out. Speaking of getting caught out, Kayn is trying to catch us and Karma out, but yeah, he doesn't really do very much damage. He's 0-2 with one item. Yone tries to come in, eats a couple of bullets from me as well as a Karma Q for his efforts, and yeah, we are in a very, very solid position just as a entire team, and we just need to not actually throw the game. We are actually 7k gold ahead at this point against the enemy team, so we're in a very, very good spot. Now, we want to be very careful here because if we overextend and the enemy team all collapse on us, we could be in trouble. But at the same time, we don't want to play too scared. You can see we're just destroying the Kalista and the Nautilus for that matter from afar. Obviously, Nautilus is going to block for Kalista, but you know, honestly, Caitlyn out is not really the most useful ultimate for the most part. So you can kind of be a little bit liberal with how you use it. Sometimes teammates just don't block, and I've seen it happen way too many times for me to not just try. So here you can see I'm trying to be a bit cautious because we can see that Kayn is there. I'm really scared of Kayn because Karma is not with me. She is now, so I'm not as scared anymore. But if I'm alone, I believe Kayn can definitely kill me. I'm not sure how that Nautilus hook did not hit. I expected that to actually hit me, although I did actively try to dodge it, but I thought I was too late. Anyways, here Kayn trying to come in from the side, we kite him out real well. Unfortunately, Nautilus out and Kayn out, and then Kalista just running me down, and the exhaust and the root, and I actually survived for very long and trade a kill onto the Kayn before I die, but eventually Kalista does get my shutdown, actually picks up a double, and actually make that a triple, and actually make that a quadra. So out of nowhere, Kalista just randomly gets back into the game with a quadra kill. Now even so, I feel that Kalista as a champion, if she's not like really far ahead in the early game, I really don't think Kalista is all that strong. Now just look at this, just avert your eyes. I'm not sure what Aatrox is trying to do here, but yeah, let's not look at that. So I feel like Kalista, if she's not like very, very far ahead in the early game, I feel that even if you get like kills in the mid and late game, I feel that you really are not really able to really carry the game. Like the only way you can do that is if the whole enemy team ignores you and just doesn't attack you, and you just free hit on them, full stack everything, and just like ran everybody. But you know, I'm on the enemy team, so I'm definitely going to be focusing the Kalista. I'm not going to allow her to do that. So here you can see, the dragon is up, and we're setting the trap so Kayn can't come through the wall very easily. Right, so Mastery is making his way here, but he's really, really slow, and it ends up that Kayn just comes over through the side of the wall and just steals the dragon. So I guess that was my mistake for just DPSing the dragon too quickly, because I thought Mastery would make it here faster, but he turned out to be really, really slow. So here I'm just free hitting. Now Darius is actually reaching me, so here I'm gonna have to flash because then he's just gonna ult me down, and I'm just gonna like die. So here I'm trying to actually kill the Darius. I see Darius as more important to kill, which is why I ult him compared to Kalista. although you could argue Kalista currently has a shutdown, but I think, you know, I don't know, I feel that Darius is more scary because he's been the one consistently performing on his team, whereas Kalista just got a pretty lucky team fight, and I was laning against her the whole game, and I didn't really feel that she was any good. I mean, she got destroyed by me and Karma, right? So how can I really think she's really any good when that was the case? But anyways, we basically decide to ult the Darius instead of the Kalista, and we give Darius another death. Darius is still the most fed member on the enemy team, so definitely not a bad target to choose. And here we're just trying to pick up farm wherever we can, just keeping our goal really far up, hyper efficient farming. We have like the most goal in the game by a large margin, and we're just picking farm wherever we can. And here we get enough for Runan's Hurricanes, and we're going to quickly recall, we're going to quickly pick up Runan's Hurricane, and at this point, when you have these 3 on-hit items, is where I feel that the on-hit build really comes fully online, because you can proc your Bork on hit onto 3 people, you can, you know, proc your Terminus on hit onto 3 people as well, and you know, you can just start blasting away, and this is where I think the on hit build really shines. So here, I'm trying to see if me and Timo can make a play on Darius, if not just get the minions. So here you can see, we're auto-attacking the Darius down, he is Proto Belt ghosting away, I'm not going to chase him, I'm going to ult him though, but his Starix is able to absorb most of the damage. And now just back to farming, so we're going to pick up these Krugs. And here you can see Yone and Nautilus are in the mid lane together with Kalista, and you can see from the minimap here that they are all starting to make their way down the river. So here we spot Darius, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to quickly kill Darius before his team arrives. So here I'm quickly starting to blast Darius, I'm stacking at my little tempo, his team arrives right as he dies, and here you can see I'm trying to focus Kalista, right? Because Kalista is the problem, we focus her, she dies. Unfortunately, Yone and Kayn get on top of me, and I'm trying my best to kite out. Unfortunately, Kayn has stasis, so I end up just dying right there. I thought I could kill the Kayn at least before that happened. Master Yi now comes in for the cleanup, picks up a double kill, and Karma and Master Yi are just trying to run down the Kayn. I think that's a little bit too ambitious though. Kayn is a little bit too mobile with his E to really get run down. So here, with everybody dead on the enemy team except the Kayn, it's a relatively good time to do Baron. Now Kayn of course could come in and steal, which is really a danger, but with 3 people alive, should be alright. Now unfortunately though, the rest of the team is respawning, and Aatrox is not helping. Now Aatrox, if he doesn't help, it's fine if he zones the Kayn away, but now he is not helping to DPS. He's walking around doing absolutely nothing. I'm not sure what the plan is there. He's trying to recall as my team is trying to do Baron, and Master Yi panics, smites early, and Kayn just comes in for a free Baron. Like, disaster. So here Kayn is trying to make his escape. I'm trying to ult him down. Master Yi picks up 2 kills, but doesn't get us the Baron, which is really horrible. Excuse me. So basically, the game starts to get a little bit more difficult because any team gets a Baron, and the goal lead now between my team and the enemy team is now only about like 2k, compared to just now what it was like 7k or so. So here you can see, I'm free hitting onto the TX. I have a full stack lethal tempo, and I'm just hitting whoever I can. So here I'm spotting Yone. I'm on this very weird flank. I kind of like was not doing that on purpose, but now I'm in a position to kill Yone. I'm gonna just come forward, kill Yone. Nautilus ults me, cooks me, stuns me, roots me, but there's no one here, so it doesn't matter. And yeah, I end up on that very weird Caitlyn flank where I'm just free hitting. So now this sequence from just now until now, you can see the power of the on-hit build and the free hitting, right? So here you can see, Kayn tries to go in on me, I'm gonna pop the stasis, and now I'm gonna get one shot by him. My team is here to back me up, I root Nautilus with my trap, and now I'm free hitting, like, I'm just hitting and hitting and hitting and hitting, and no one is actually stopping me. And yeah, the Runans is popping off, and everything. Here I just ult, because why not? And then we're just gonna take the tower. And yeah, that whole sequence, I was free hitting for such a long time. You know, from that weird flanking kind of situation to the situation where my team came to back me up. I'm just hitting for free for so long, and this is really where this build kind of shines, where you can free hit for, you know, such a long period of time. Kayn is trying to come in to steal the dragon again. Thankfully this time he doesn't get it. And yeah, so here I see this a really huge wave in top, so I'm really interested in picking up that wave. On the way, I'm gonna pick up the Gromp. And the huge wave in top has actually shrunk to just one wave, unfortunately. So And Aatrox is even fighting us for the wave, which is annoying to say the least. Thankfully, we get all the last hits. We're going to rotate over to mid where Karma is in need of help, but on the way we're going to farm the wolves. Again, just making sure to keep our farm as high as possible. Now, Darius has overextended by a lot, and yeah, he's not escaping. He gets the Drain passive procced on him, he gets Karma's Imperial Mandate procced on him, and he is not getting away. So here, red buff share is up. I'm going to pick it up. My team is fighting in the mid lane, so I'm kind of trying to make my way there as quickly as I can. Unfortunately, it looks like the fight is kind of over, and that's not very good because I was ready to go. Now, Kane's trying to come back in. So is Nautilus, and it really looks like a fight's going to come up here. I'm trying to close off a choke point with my traps, ensure that any team can't come through there. And now we're getting some mid lane priority. Both Elder and Baron are pretty much going to be spawning at the same time. So when that happens, there is kind of a potential for Elder for Baron trade or a Baron for Elder trade, depending on what both teams want to do. But generally, Elder is more valuable than Baron, because generally, you know, Elder is going to help you to kill them and then end the game or get Baron, whereas Baron, if you trade it for Elder, is a decent trading. You have to kind of avoid fighting and just try to push lanes without getting into fights, which is a lot more tricky. So generally, you know, most teams just go for Elder, and looks like that's what's happening here. We can see Kayn is already in the area. I'm just clearing out some vision. Teemo is setting a bunch of mushrooms all over the Elder pit. Now we know this Master Yi is a trash smiter. He's gotten one dragon and one Baron already stolen from him. And so this is really, really risky just because of how trash the Master Yi is. So here you can see we're focusing Kayn. Kayn is pretty much 1 HP at this point. I'm trying to get into the back line and I'm trying to free hit onto wherever I can. In this case, it's the Nautilus. So I'm blasting the Nautilus. I'm trying to blast the Elder Dragon and get it. Unfortunately, once again, the Elder Dragon gets stolen. And yeah, here I try to flash to go for the Yone here. I actually try to ult him, but he actually survives on 1 HP. And yeah, that's really unfortunate. So here, despite losing the Elder, we still have our jungler alive, and we have pushing waves in pretty much all lanes except bottom. The jungler is dead, and only Yone and Darius are alive, so we can actually still go for Baron. We're setting the trap line to prevent any interference from the enemy team, and we should be able to at least get a free Baron uncontested. And yeah, so we definitely know this Master Yi can't smite for his life. He has lost us an Elder, he has lost us a Baron, and has made this game really unnecessarily difficult. Like, if this Master Yi was an actual competent jungler, I think this game would have ended like 5 minutes ago when we got that like first Baron. Because I think using that Baron, we could have just forced the end of the game. But we lost a Baron, we lost an Elder, and now we finally have a Baron, but the enemy team has Elder. Of course, only Darius and Yone have Elder at this point in time, so we don't really have to be too scared of the Elder, except on these two. Honestly, I'm most scared of like Kayn having the Elder, for example. Yone with the Elder are pretty scary as well, but Yone is relatively far behind, and he is like not really the most bursty kind of build. So here, I'm not sure why the entire enemy team is at top lane, trying to farm. So here I pop the stasis because Kayn is trying to one-shot me. I'm going to free hit onto the Nautilus, trying to ult down the Nautilus. Nautilus is really, really tanky. He doesn't really take a lot of damage. He has a lot of armor and health. So here we're already inside the base now. We're already inside the base. I'm just setting up the trap line around inside the enemy nexus because people are just going to step in them and just get caught like what the Nautilus just did there. Kayn gets one shot. Nautilus is on his last legs, but we ran out of a wave, so I can really only hit the Nautilus. I'm trying to hit the nexus now, but yeah, we don't have a wave. We had to wait for the next wave. Now, I believe Kalista went AFK, and I think Darius just gave up on the game, right? Because Darius is just rage splitting. He's not even caring to defend his base. Kalista is nowhere to be seen. And Nautilus is trying to one-man defend his base. Now, I was trying to get a kill onto the Nautilus before we ended, just, you know, out of satisfaction. But he's way too tanky, so I'm not going to risk it. I'm just going to end the game right here, right now. And, yeah, I'm going to leave you guys with the stats as usual. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and goodbye.